Get older. Okay, I've got 2 significant birthdays.
Yeah.
The rest of my life. 50. Oh, I guess 65 you could celebrate. That's retirement age. 50 and then 75. Those are the only 2. And then if you make it to the century.
Every decade.
You think every decade?
Is kind of a celebration. Even every mid-decade.
There's a case to be made for that. Yeah, you're not mid-decade.
You know what, Anthony?
That's
You used to
arguable.
celebrate yourself. Do you have any plans for the weekend?
Dinner.
Dinner.
A dinner with a couple of friends tonight. We're gonna go out.
Oh, the boys are gonna hit the
dinner.
town.
Isn't that wild? Fork, spoon, knife, plate, dinner.
Yeah, you typically don't do that. I know. You usually skip that.
But you know what?
You're treating yourself.
You remember your birthdays, right? Like in the weather. A lot of times it's like snowing and just nasty and fall. Like, look, it's a perfect day outside. So
it's beautiful.
Feeling thankful. No,
just for
kidding aside. Feeling thankful, and thank you so much, Gabs. Thank you for being
You're lucky we didn't spring a happy birthday song on you. Maybe we will later on in the show.
I used to do that.
All right, Peanut Gallery, we got to get ready for that a little bit later. Let's talk about what's coming up, though. As we tease in Good Day Chicago, we're going to have some toys here, and it's going to kind of get your kids maybe excited, sneak in some educational value in there, too. So we're talking about some toys that would also
be educational?
Be educational and work with STEM.
I really like this approach because being the father of 2, sometimes when kids hear educational, they immediately tune out.
Yeah.
They shut it down. Sometimes you got to trick them.
Sometimes adults do the same thing.
That's right. That's right. These toys kind of trick your kids into thinking they're playing, but they're actually learning at the same time. So we're going to be visited by some experts in that regard. I'm excited to see what they brought in because I'm always looking for ideas this time of year, right? Also, concerts. Okay, the weather's great today, but Mike has been talking about he's calling them fall flakes. Yeah, the S word, right? This is the time of year where we actually do have to turn to Chicago being an amazing cultural destination. Get inside for some of these live events, and there is a ton happening. So we're in the best place to have bad weather because there's so much going on inside. Concerts, shows, art openings, and we're going to be, you're cool, Gabs.
Nah,
you
not really.
are cool, but we're going to be visited by a fellow cool person.
Okay.
To run us through how to plan that.
Look at yourself. You're cool.
I try. No, this is Matt.
You got it going on. Oh, okay, sounds good. Well, your wife is cool, so that helps.
She is. Yeah,
also, speaking of just experiences, maybe that's a great Christmas gift for your family. And we're talking about multi-generational trips and how actually the holidays are the perfect time to plan them. So we're going to bring in travel expert Janine Tornator. Thank you so much for joining us over Zoom. I know that you're a friend to the show. Let's talk about, I mean, what should families keep in mind as they start talking about planning maybe that multi-generational trip? Why not bring everyone in?
That's right.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, the holidays are one of the few times of the year when the entire family is together. So it's really the perfect time to start having those conversations. Now, a few things that I would keep in mind as you start that conversation to kind of focus it in that you're going to want to talk about. Number 1, a multi-generational trip, you're going to want to go somewhere, do something that has interests that everyone enjoys. So you need to talk about that. What do the kids want to do? What do the parents, the grandparents? Understand what's going to make everybody happy on a trip. Number 2, lodging. Do you want to stay in a huge, big vacation home all together under one roof? Do you want condominiums? What kind of lodging is going to make your family happy and feel together? And then number 3, think about options that make budgeting easy. Talking about the budget isn't the most fun part of a vacation, but it's really necessary, especially when you're traveling with a big group, different family members, and finding options that make that easy are really important.
I got a quick solution for the 3rd item that you mentioned there, Janine. Grandparents pay for everything. They just pay across. That's a rule. No, I'm kidding. Let's dive into each of these
poor grandparents watching at home. They're like, oh no.
I like that.
I want to get some brainstorming going here because I have actually got a multi-generational vacation coming up. We're going to Mexico City.
Cool.
In terms of the venue that you choose, you mentioned zeroing in on the right lodging. You could go the Airbnb route. You could go to the hotels. What are some good ideas that kind of facilitate a good time for, if you got grandparents going all the way down to like 4-year-olds?
Yeah, yeah, and that can be difficult, right? Especially when you haven't done a multi-gen trip before. I've done many of them with my family. All the things I'm going to talk about today, I have done and can attest
Oh,
to.
good.
The first one that I would recommend is taking a cruise. Cruises are growing in popularity. I think they're one of the easiest options for a multi-gen trip for many reasons. They simplify everything, your transportation, your meals, your entertainment, all in one price. You pay for it, and then you don't think about it. And then you show up on the ship and you don't have to worry about payments or anything like that. Also, there are experiences for everyone in one trip. Carnival Cruise Line actually just launched their first all-new brand campaign in more than 7 years, and it's built around this idea of finding your fun again and knowing that fun means something different for everybody. So whether you like the destinations, the shore excursions on the ship, there's the kids clubs, entertainment, adults only spaces, spas, all the great food and beverage. There truly is something for everyone on these ships. And I also love that the lodging is evolving on these ships as well. So on many of Carnival ships, for example, you can have interconnecting rooms. They have their family harbor suites. They have private lounges that are perfect for large families. So you can find those types of lodging options more and more on these ships. And they also all have their own private destinations that you stop at. So Celebration Key just launched this summer on Grand Bahama Island. That's Carnival's newest one. And these island destinations are literally built for multi-generational family trips. They have the splash pads, all the slides, all the things that kids want to do. And they have the swim up bars and the cabanas and the nice dining and shopping and things like that for the adults as well. So this is one of my favorite easy options if you want to kind of book it and be done with it and then just get to show up and enjoy your family on these trips.
I am sold. You know what? Well, you know, maybe some people aren't in the position to have a passport because sometimes those cruises, you know, require a little bit more identification. What about something a little bit more local? I often hear maybe sometimes going to like Denver, maybe a mountain town might be a good option.
Yes, I love mountain towns for multi-generational trips. You know, places like Breckenridge, Vail, Colorado, you may think of them as just ski destinations, but more and more, these destinations are evolving and catering to multi-generational trips. And not just in the winter, they're really year-round destinations as well. They have great music festivals and biking and all kinds of great things to do outdoors in the summer. They're also home to a lot of large vacation homes and condominiums, so it makes it really easy for the entire extended family to find lodging that works for you. And they have that small town charm, really walkable downtowns. Again, places like Breckenridge, they have the free local transportation where your family can just hop on the bus and get around to where you want to go. So these can be really nice options for families as well. And again, any season. You can go in the winter. You don't have to be a skier anymore to enjoy these destinations. You can enjoy the spa, sit by the fire, enjoy some of their great dining. They're becoming big foodie destinations as well. So this one, another one I would put on your list for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Another category we want to get your thoughts on, city destinations.
Yeah,
what's the key to doing a successful multi-gen vacation to an urban center?
Yeah, I get a lot of questions about this because I don't think it's the type of vacation people necessarily think of for multi-gen trips, but there are some really great city destinations that are great for this. I like looking at those mid-sized cities because they're more walkable, they have more affordability, you still get all those great cultural activities, but a little less stress without the traffic and some of the logistics you have to think about in a larger city. Look at places like Asheville, North Carolina, Charleston, San Antonio, Montreal, Santa Fe. There's so many great ones around the country that can work for this. But again, there's a little more walkability, more parks, a little bit more chill than you think about going somewhere like New York City, especially if you have grandparents and maybe different needs in your family.
You know, Janine, you look at some of these clips and then you hear you, and it's like you just are good at selling me on all of these places, I have to say. But you know, in your experience and also yours, Anthony, having that multi-generational trip, how special is it once you actually are there? All the logistics are done. You're done planning, and you're actually just spending time together. It probably means a lot.
I think it's fantastic. I have done it with my family, my parents, and then even aunts and uncles, and getting the cousins together. You know, we live apart from a lot of our family around the country. So just bringing all the kids together of different ages and those grandparents, it is really special. You know, I've been on, like I was talking about, cruise lines, and you walk around the cruise ship, and in the evening in some of these more common areas, you see families sitting around playing cards and playing board games. And a lot of it is there's great things to do, but a big part of it is just bringing the family together and having that kind of fun that you can enjoy on vacation, but all together.
Absolutely. When the group itself becomes the activity, you know, you're all together, and yeah, it can be something as simple as playing cards. I want to get your advice too. I kind of mentioned I don't know how it ended up this way, but we are connected with another family. We were all interested in going to Mexico City. I've been there a few times. We like to visit the pyramids that are near Mexico City.
Cool.
When it comes to going on a city, and we're taking our kids as young as 4, you know, we don't want to overdo it on the museums, for example. Kids can get bored pretty easily. But do you have any recommendations in general on how to structure an itinerary if you are going to a city, whether it's mid-size or bigger?
Absolutely. Well, we just did a Sicily and Italy vacation with my family a couple of years ago, kids included, and that was a big concern of mine is, you know, they don't want to go in another museum. I think how you structure it is not making it too structured. I think you want to have a couple of those activities built in that you may enjoy, but also leave time for the pool, and choosing restaurants I think is important too, going to destinations that have lots of family-friendly options, that al fresco dining. You want it to be laid back, that your entire family can enjoy. So, you know, it does take a little research for some of these options, especially if you're going to a destination you've never been to. But I think leaving it a little unstructured is always great, and having a list of things that you could do, and kind of playing it by ear a little bit with the family. I also think it's important with the multi-gen trips is let the different, you know, families, let your grandparents, maybe they want to go play golf. People might want to go do their different things, and then you come back at the end of the day in the afternoon for dinners and that time together as a family. You don't have to spend it all together, especially if you have a large group.
You know, this might be getting a little bit too much in the nitty-gritty, and that was great advice, by the way.
Totally.
But how long should you plan one of these trips for? I mean, should it be a couple days, you know, up to a week? Because, you know, there's different dynamics.
Yeah, for
People are
sure.
away from home.
For sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, it just really depends on your family. If you're really avid travelers and you all travel a lot, maybe your kids and everyone's used to being away from home longer. I would say if you haven't done it before, maybe you start with a little bit of a shorter trip. Maybe you do that 3 or 4 night cruise or a long weekend getaway to kind of feel it out and see what works for your family. But certainly, you know, especially for families that maybe live very far apart, they may want to make it a little bit longer because they're not able to get together as often.
Janine, sit tight for us. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be speaking to Janine about where online we can go for more ideas and best times to book. So stay with us. We'll be right back with Janine after this.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. We're talking with travel expert Janine Tornatore, who's a friend of the show, and we're going to bring her back up via Zoom. You know, Janine, I think we've heard before that maybe booking a trip during the holiday season is actually a good time. Do you find some better deals, or is it just because everyone is together and maybe it's easier to plan the logistics?
Well, we are coming up on the Thanksgiving holiday week, which is when we see, Black Friday deals, Cyber Week, Travel Tuesday. In fact, a lot of retailers and travel sites start their sales earlier in November now. It's a much longer window, but this is the time of year when you do see a lot of promotions, limited time booking windows where you can look for those deals for later in the year. So it's definitely an advantageous time for your family being together over Thanksgiving potentially, and then having these deals that you can book during this time. So I would say get your family together, talk about those things, and then get online together and start seeing if there are some things that you can take advantage of.
I might put you on the spot a little bit, Janine, but I think some people at home, maybe they aren't as experienced with booking trips, and it seems a little overwhelming to, okay, go online and look ahead. What are some of just the basic steps, if you don't mind, on how to make sure you're looking for the best deal?
Absolutely. Well, I would say number one is timing is kind of everything. Again, if you know when those deals are going to be happening, which they are going to be happening over the Thanksgiving week, going on, to trusted travel sites like Expedia, TripAdvisor, and looking for those deals. I also would say if you have a large family and you're not sure where to start, travel advisors are a fantastic idea to put together big trips for families like this. So, looking to a travel agent, it doesn't cost you anything. I think that's a big question in a lot of people's minds, but travel agents make all of their commissions through the bookings, through booking the hotels and the other elements. They're not charging you in most cases. So that can be a really great idea if you're, putting together a large family vacation and you just don't know where to start. I would also recommend, if you're on social media, start following some avid travelers, family travel influencers, see where they're going, see what they're posting about. This is a great way to get a feel for a place by seeing people's stories and what they're posting up there and what their kids are doing on vacation, or ones that focus on multi-generational travel. Getting that inspiration, I think, is the very first step.
Yeah, in terms of inspiration, I always love having something to look forward to on the calendar, especially as it gets colder here in Chicago. You have that vacation planned a couple months out, and you can at least look forward to it. All right, Janine, where can folks follow along with you if they want to get some inside tips on your social media?
Yes, I'm on Instagram at The Outside Insider, and I do a lot of multi-generational travel and a lot of posting on my trips. So please follow me. You'll find some ideas there for sure.
All right, Janine, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time as always.
My pleasure.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, Gabby, we're going to be speaking about some trending topics, including, everybody, Pizza Hut actually has a 6-7 menu. We're going to talk about what's on it and how to get in on that when we come back.
I just don't understand.
6-7.
It's that.
Hour of Chicago Now. We have some trending topics to go through, and one, I bet you're familiar with it with your son.
Oh, yeah.
About that age.
Yeah, he's right in the 6-7 sweet spot.
Yeah.
That Goldilocks zone.
So,
you want to call it that?
Pizza Hut took advantage of that trend going on that people either just don't understand or use it way too much. And they had a menu, a 6-7 menu.
6-7 menu, and it's on November 6th and 7th. So today is actually the last day to just rush over to Pizza Hut to get in on this. Here's something good, though. You can get boneless wings.
Yeah?
Gabby, first of all, how can you not have a great time eating boneless wings?
I do.
It's
I do love me
impossible.
some wings. Don't
It's
show us a picture.
impossible. Look at that.
I'm starving.
You know,
this is not
are you a ranch
This is not
person
fair.
or are you blue cheese person?
I'm telling you, I'm both.
Both.
Baby, give me,
I can't
all
do
the
the blue
sauce.
cheese.
Give me all the sauce. Jake and I got in a heated argument because he's not a sauce guy, and I'm like, Jake,
Wait,
you're
not a
actually
sauce
crazy.
guy?
Yeah, he doesn't like any sauces.
Wait.
I know. We got to
Hold
bring
on,
it
I
up
need
here.
to process that. No, so like fries.
The
Jake
jury's
Hamilton?
out, Jake, and you're wrong.
Jake, your opinion is wrong, Jake. Sorry, he's not a sauce guy. Wow,
crazy, huh?
Okay, so boneless wings for 67 cents, which is unbelievable. This is the latest trend that is annoying teachers, parents, and witnesses alike. I think the most head-scratching thing about this one is that nobody quite knows what it means.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, because you said that your son's in the sweet spot. Has he given you a breakdown of what
No.
6-7 means?
9-year-old boys are not good at explaining anything.
Okay.
I will ask him how his day will. Hey, what was the best part of your day? And he's like, oh, I forget, Dad. I forget.
Oh.
You know.
Well, maybe it's private.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, look at how they did the logo.
That is
too.
cute. That is
the
cute.
little Pizza Hut logo. But yeah, so it originally has its roots from a song called Doot Doot by Skrilla. And the best translation we have so far, Gabs, it means so-so, or maybe this, maybe that.
Oh, that's why they're going like this. Okay. I don't know. They were juggling or what.
All right, quick break, real quick. 60 seconds, we'll be back with a couple other trending topics. Will they be annoying or not? You will be the judge right after this. Talk about Mariah Carey, everybody. Uh-oh.
See, we told you the break was going to be quick. Welcome back to Chicago Now. It's time!
There we go, there you go.
I was playing it earlier, and our director was like across the room, and he's like, what is that screech? And I go, oh, it's just Mariah Carey, don't worry about
When
it.
she used to sing in that, I don't know if it's like a counter alto voice where she would like basically be squealing like a whistle, but it was actually on tune. She's like, her vocals
crazy.
are
You know what?
unbelievable.
I
That I
will
will
say-
never take away from Mariah Carey. Her vocals are amazing.
I will say, Anthony, I'm a big Mariah Carey fan. I grew up listening to Mariah Carey. My mom and I would just rock out in the car. So she has my whole heart. And I still love the Christmas song. So, but an ad of hers is getting some backlash. That's one of our trending topics this morning. So it's Mariah Carey's new holiday ad with Sephora, and it's getting mixed reviews. We can play just some of the video for you, but pretty much it features an elf going on strike due to some hard labor. People praised her in the ad for not using AI, so that was the good part of it. It's really cute. She's dressed up as an angel. It's past Halloween, and so everything's changing. But people were also excited about the collaboration between Mariah and Sephora because she has a new line that's out, but people are not happy about the elf on strike, which people say is tone deaf, and people also claim the ad was trying to be slick, calling out people who are planning shopping boycotts this holiday season. Anthony, I'll say I watched it, right?
Okay.
And this is my opinion. This is my opinion. But I think people are taking things way too seriously. Come on. It was just like a fun little ad. Look, he's turning into a snowman. Like, I really don't think that they're trying to be sly and sneak a hidden message in there. I think it's just trying to be a cute advertisement because, you know, there's only so many ideas. People, you know, over the years use so many, you know, different little storylines, and they're just trying to be
If anything, I'm gonna, you know, with regard to like the recent Sydney Sweeney ad controversy with the blue jeans, I've got good jeans. If anything, this is not controversial enough, because here's the deal: people are looking to get mad about anything these days.
I know.
Anything.
Dang,
and the more that it stirs up controversy, the better it is for the brand itself. So, I don't know, I would say even, you know, kick up the controversy next time, Sephora.
Just like Anthony Ponce does.
Exactly.
He's always trying to kick up the controversy.
Yeah, no publicity is bad publicity. Seems pretty benign to me. All right, Ralph Lauren, or as my sister would always correct me, she's like, Anthony, it's Ralph Lauren. Did you know that? Okay. That it's Ralph Lauren?
I mean,
it's
yeah.
I did not know. I was saying Ralph Lauren my entire life until my sister corrected me last year. So now I know it's Ralph Lauren.
Common spelling of Lauren.
Okay, so I guess they are setting the they're setting the bar for the Christmas aesthetic this year.
They always are.
Okay, I didn't realize this. Everyone is trying to rock the same aesthetic this holiday season. This year's theme is a Ralph Lauren Christmas.
Look how
what do you think?
classic and
are you
beautiful.
just are you just loving this so much?
I'm captivated.
Gabby, you are just okay. Yes,
and the dog?
It's got a smell of rich mahogany.
It does.
It really does. Look at the crackling fire.
Wow.
Can we not all aspire to this aesthetic? The palette is anchored in deep, moody tones like hunter green, oxblood. Not sure what that means. Navy and espresso brown, sometimes offset with cream and always with polished silver. So these videos are circulating on TikTok right now for inspiration to show off this style. People are trying to mix elegance and comfort with a touch of luxury. It reminds me of Ferris Bueller. If you have the means, I highly recommend getting in on this. Yes, hashtag Ralph Lauren Christmas, gaining momentum on TikTok and Instagram. We're helping their cause right now in Chicago Now.
Yeah,
textures like velvet, cashmere, and saddle leather are essential for this.
I love it. Yeah, because it's not actual Ralph Lauren branded stuff. It's just like that vibe.
Aesthetic.
Have you been in their coffee shop on the Mag Mile?
Yes, I have. It is very cozy.
I've been in there.
It's cozy.
So cute.
It's cozy.
It's so cute. So that's kind of vibe you want. And you can get a lot of dupes on Marshalls. We had showed some clips from TJ Maxx and such, where it has kind of that
or are they like the discarded or like?
No, they're dupes. They're just kind of like the same vibe.
Same
for lack of better words. Yeah.
Oh, I'm a huge believer in Marshalls and TJ Maxx.
Love it.
Every single one of my ties.
Really?
Not that I have as good a style as like a Brian Jackson.
It's true.
No one does.
That's true.
But
he does it well.
Or a Terrence Lee, but I think they have some good stuff.
Anthony, don't give yourself some credit, man.
We gents used to pay like $40–50 for a tie.
It's crazy.
It's wild, right?
Yeah.
Now you can get good ones for $10–12.
Although I have all my girlfriends could be like, oh, I found this at TJ Maxx, I found this at Marshalls. Every time I go in there for clothes, it's a miss.
Really?
For me, yeah. They just never have anything in like my size that day, or maybe I go on the wrong day, because they say that actually there's a hack where if you go on a certain day of the week, that's when they got their most recent shipment in.
Oh.
And so everything's new on the floor, which of course I go on the weekend, so that's probably part of the battle.
Talk to Natalie Baumke.
Oh, okay.
She knows her way around a TJ Maxx. It's just a little more labor intensive. They don't curate it for you, so you do have to do some digging.
Okay. Well, I like Nordstrom Rack. I like secondhand stores, so I'm not afraid to spend some time in a store. Let me tell you that. Okay. Well, we have some ideas so that you don't have to spend some time in a store. We have some toys if you have some kids at home. Maybe you're thinking of some present ideas coming up right after this break. Sounds good.
Just get close. 3.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. Like we said, we told you it was going to be a quick break. And look, we have a change of scenery here. Some great toys in front of us. Now, you have kids.
Yes, I got a 9-year-old a 4-year-old, and we just bought, this was last night. My 4-year-old's obsessed, not this exact one, but a Lego that was a front end loader. He's obsessed with construction equipment.
Loves construction equipment.
Legos
As you do.
have gotten so much better than when I was a kid. So it's like a functioning, so it's got
It's true. So this is Lego technique.
Yes, exactly.
This teaches them. Yeah, it has working pistons in the rear engine on there.
The front end loader did too. Trust me, it was the end of the day, and I was, making it for him, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, I had to be like, wait, this is way harder. But they're like working toys now once they're built.
That's absolutely correct. And they have Lego for all different ages. So starting at preschool all the way up to the adult fans of Lego that are going to build it like a model kit. And that's
James on, by the way, with Toy Insider. We were so excited to talk about
No worries. You got to get excited about that.
Thank you for joining us here.
Absolutely.
All right, so we got these kinds of Legos.
Yep.
These are going to be a hot ticket this Christmas.
Absolutely, already are. The Ferrari, for whatever reason, is one of the hottest ones right now.
Cute.
So we're going with 10 and up on that one, but of course, younger kids, they can do that with the grown-up. Let's go right in front of you here. Thames and Cosmos, Gecko Run. This is going to have kids building their own vertical marble runs.
Whoa.
And these attach using this nano material, so there's no glue, so it's not going to stick to your walls. But what I did here, so that we could kind of see this on television, is put it on
you actually put it on the wall?
On this plexi, yeah, or your fridge or whatever.
Cool.
So check this out. So we got the marble here.
Okay.
We're going to roll it through there.
There we go.
And
Whoa!
so starts with the starter kit, and you can not only find these at major retailers, but also your mom and pop independent toy shops, which is awesome. Starter kit is here, and then there's all kinds of add-ons you can get.
So hold on, back up, because when I was a kid, it was blocks and marbles.
Yeah.
It was the wooden ones.
Yep.
We have a real cheapo set that it's easy to step on them and break them, and they're real rickety, and they're kind of self-contained, so they.
I know the ones you're talking about.
Yeah, we've just lost a lot of parts over the years. This one is all built on a wall.
Yes, and then you just peel these off and put it back in the box.
Easy. I want to make sure we mention tomorrow is National STEM Day, and a lot of these are kind of like, science-y. Maybe it's getting, using different parts of your brain, although we don't want to tell the kids that. Because maybe they won't
everything on this table, science, technology, engineering, and math, and sometimes people throw the A in there and they do STEAM, which adds art to it. But all of these teach kids, and not only that, too, you mentioned tomorrow, Chicago Toy and Game Fair opens tomorrow out in Rosemont.
That's right.
And 3 of these companies, Lego, Abacus Brands, and Fapper and Toys, are actually all out there.
That's great.
So,
Yeah, we previewed a little bit.
coincidence.
There's a bunch of Chicago companies. You know Magnetiles?
They're in Bolingbrook.
They're in Bolingbrook.
Interesting.
Yes. Let's talk a little bit about the game maker here from Pixie Cade.
Right in front.
This is from Abacus Brands. Kids are going to take their tablet or their smart device, put an app on there. They get to draw, using the 5 included markers, their own levels for 100 example games, put all of their stuff in there. They scan it with their tablet, and they're literally playing with their own characters that they drew.
Oh, cool.
Could you imagine being a kid and getting this, and then knowing that, wow, it just inspires so much.
So you draw it on the whiteboard type
Yep,
thing.
you're going to draw it in there.
You scan it,
Yep.
and then it basically comes to life.
Correct.
Wow.
So I have seen this. Okay, have you seen these? So on social media, I saw an ad for this week where you can take an old picture of yourself, like when you were a kid, upload it to an AI, and it will bring
open this up.
the
it's
photo to
so,
life. It almost sounds like
it's so elaborate. But this has actually been on the market for a couple years from a company called Bit of Genius, and then Abacus took it and just made it even more elaborate. And there's new versions coming out. There's one with pudgy penguins coming out, which is a hot
I know Pudgy
trend.
Penguin.
Okay. So yeah, there's actually a pudgy version of Pixie Cade coming out.
Cute.
Did you ever have a Tamagotchi?
Yes, I did.
You were Tamagotchi.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
So,
Walk me through
Tamagotchi
what this is.
Paradise from Bandai Namco Toys and Collectibles North America. They have upgraded this. So you're going to take care, I've got one here. You can actually evolve up to 50,000 different characters, and you have a planet, and you have different environments. And right here, we've got the planet on here. You can actually zoom into the cellular level and see how your little pet is, and you still have to feed them, play with them.
Yes. Okay. So this is the thing.
Yeah,
it's like,
you know these
I've heard of. I've heard. So this is where it's like essentially your child, and you have to like.
Yes.
This is the thing where you have to like feed it and walk it.
100%. And I think because you're being educated on this, I think you need to read the caretaker pledge.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
you
you
have
go.
to sign. You have to sign
check it
and
out?
date it.
Yeah,
Okay.
check it out.
Tamagotchi
This is so
caretaker
different than the one I
pledge.
had, I'll tell you that much.
I swear
Wow.
to take care of my Tamagotchi characters and bring life to the new Tamagotchi planet.
Mine has really big
You're
lips.
official now. You've
I'm
taken the
official.
oath.
Oh my gosh. James, how
Mine got some
old
lip filler.
how old are these geared toward?
This right here, 6 and up.
6 and up.
Tamagotchi, I think it's next year is going to be 30 years that's been available in the U.S.
Wait, yes, I did. And I was really bad at taking care
What
of
is
it.
let me ask you, while we have Gabby here, what is the appeal of having an obligation when it comes to a toy? Like,
I don't know. I think it's the same with a kid having a baby doll or a G.I. Joe or something. Maybe more, on the feminine side of things. If
well,
you
with the
may.
G.I. Joe, you
you're
throw it in the
taking care of
corner when you're not.
baby. Yeah, well, God, a little
I'm not
might
trying to be
be.
hard.
G.I. Joes are back
That's a
too. G.I.
pretty
Joe
good
classified.
Are they really?
series. Yeah,
dolls.
but they're geared more towards people our age. I heard you say your age earlier, and I'm a little bit older than you.
No.
Yeah, I'm 49.
Birthday.
G.I.
So-
Joe,
No
the
way.
American
Exactly.
hero.
Look what I'm wearing right here.
Oh my gosh,
Transformers
Transformers.
holidays, because we're talking holiday toys. But
So wait, kids our age are buying G.I.
toys for
Joes.
themselves. And
Are they
Lego.
keeping them in the box and reselling them on eBay? Or
Some are, or some put them in their offices.
Yeah, or some play with them. Maybe you're stressed at work.
Let's
You just wanna
where
do
are you?
Speaking
G.I.
of
Joe.
play,
Upstairs playing with these
let's
guys.
play with this.
Oh yeah.
This is one of my favorites of the last couple years. This is called Air Tubes from Fat Brain Toys. You buy the turbine
Okay.
and the tube set as a starter pack. And then they have add-ons. There's even like a wacky waving inflatable flailing arm tube man. This is going to teach kids engineering velocity. Think like when you're at the bank and you have those vacuum tubes.
I'm going to pause you for
Yes.
just a second.
This is the best
because
tease ever.
I want to keep our viewers on edge here. We're going to take a 60-second break, and we're going to watch the magic unfold live when we come back with James on after this.
Welcome back. We're with James on with Toy Insider. Always welcome on our show because you're giving everyone the great ideas. Okay, you teased us up with, well, what this machine is.
did.
I'm hearing a little bit of airflow. I can feel the airflow. And you said this is actually a great stocking stuffers, at least for these little guys.
Yes. So
These
this
could
is
go
a
in the stocking.
big wow gift here, stocking stuffer
There you go.
add-on. If you're just joining us, it's Fat Brain Toys. This is Air Tubes. Going to teach all the kids about engineering and velocity. This is a wind turbine. It comes with these foam balls,
Okay.
but then for this year, the Tubesters come 5 in a box. They're little collectible
cute.
plush characters, and I think this one here is really looking for a ride.
I think so,
Okay.
too.
So let's pop him in here and then watch what happens.
Woo!
Ooh, there we
You
go.
got one?
I got a
Let's
little
go for it.
Love it. Let's see. Oh, you went higher.
And then
Double time. Wow. Well,
comes with the foam balls.
okay, you're gonna need some room for that.
There's all this. The set comes with all kinds of stuff, so you can make a much more elaborate layout. But this is great for kids. Adults love it too.
Yeah.
And then you can keep adding on to it.
And you're kind of running around getting some exercise while you're playing, right?
And if you
Get a
notice
taste
too,
of these.
this is obviously powered. It's rechargeable.
Okay, awesome.
So-
And this is just a basic configuration, but James, you were saying with a little more space, you can go crazy with the tube configuration.
You can do loop-de-loops. You can do up and over. You can add the straights. There's the different add-on packs. There's a whirligig thing. There's a
Yeah.
tube man. It's really a lot of fun.
I will say that these kinds of modular toys, whether it's the marble runs or stuff like the air tubes here, it keeps delivering. Like, kids don't get bored because they can do so many different things with their imagination.
This is also another example I mentioned earlier about shopping the small toy stores. Like, there's tons of boutiques here in Chicago that Fat Brain Toys, and this specifically, this has been a huge specialty hit. So it's not something you're necessarily going to find at all your big boxes. You look at those small stores.
Oh, that is interesting.
And you get the hands-on, like the Gecko Run and even the Lego and stuff and the Abacus. You get all of this at these small stores where the folks that work there really know about toys.
These are great ideas.
You know, that's interesting, because as a person who doesn't have kids, I'm not shopping for a lot of toys. I guess I think of maybe the toy section at Target before I think of a place down the street here downtown.
Yep.
What great advice.
Yeah, it's great. I loved going to, when we were in the city, going to Timeless Toys on the north side. They always had awesome stuff. And all right, so are you headed to the expo this weekend?
Yeah, the Chicago Toy and Game Fair.
Okay,
I will be there tomorrow.
Okay, you're going to be there tomorrow. Can you give us an idea of anything else? I mean, we have a limited amount of space here, but that's new and trending that people may find at the show tomorrow?
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff out there. So I know Tomy, another local company, they're in Oak Brook. They're going to be out there.
Nice.
They make everything from educational toys to John Deere tractors and everything. Like Ertl is one of their brands. Like, they used to do like the die-cast and stuff. They still do. They're going to be out there. I heard that Toys R Us is setting up something out there. You know, they opened a couple new stores.
They're making a little comeback here after their bankruptcy. Yeah,
there's a lot going on with that. You know, they've got that whole floor at Macy's. Here, Macy's on State. But yeah, there's tons of different companies that are set up, and you can go hands-on and play with this stuff. And the folks from People of Play that run that, and then the Toy Association, have worked to put this show together so that they're going to debut some award-winning toys at that too.
Absolutely.
So, can I ask you?
Really excited on that.
What is the #1 toy you think for this holiday season?
Ooh, that is so tough.
Question.
Now, it is, because the first thing everybody always goes to is Labubu. And Labubu, though, not necessarily accessible to everyone.
That's true.
So the way I look at this, and you said loaded question, and I have a response to that, which is that there is no one-size-fits-all toy for the kids in your life.
It's true.
So if I tell you I think that Lego is the top toy, it might not be for your kids, but it might be for his. So that's why at the Toy Insider, we go through, we look at thousands of toys every year. We just put out our 20th annual holiday gift guide. There's about 400 toys in there, over 100 companies. We play test all of this, and then we break it down by age. And then we've got things like our Hot 20, our STEM 10. We've got big thing this year, budget friendly.
Oh,
so
that's great.
That's nice.
12 under 20, great stocking stuffers, but also stuff that just gives a lot of bang for the buck, so that parents are going to spend and be confident that they spent their money wisely, and they have something that's not a one and done, that the kids are going to really enjoy.
Where can folks go to dive in if they want to see the whole list of 400, or if they want to zero in on like the 20 under 20 list, for example?
TheToyInsider.com.
ToyInsider.com.
We know play. And
Easy.
I remember when I was a kid, what was it called? Voltron.
yes,
Remember Voltron?
I do, and they're making a movie. They're doing a live-action movie with Henry Cavill.
They are.
Yes.
The Lions. So that was the hardest thing to find for like a year or two. I remember my brother, bless my brother's heart, he wrote into Toys R Us because we went to get one. It was like a huge day for him. They didn't have any, and he came back, he was devastated. He wrote a letter, a handwritten letter.
Extra geeky question.
Sure.
Was it the Voltron with the action figures that went in it, or was it the die-cast metal version?
Ooh, the metal version, I'm pretty sure.
The metal version was made by Matchbox, believe it or not, which is, you know, known for the vehicles.
Yes.
And then there was a slightly bigger version that I had that I distinctly remember my parents bought it from the Toys R Us in Madison, in the south suburbs.
That must have been your favorite.
That was from a company called Panache Place that doesn't exist anymore. So you're getting a little toy history today.
Yeah,
no
it's
kidding.
great. But I just wonder, fast forward to 2025, is there anything like that happening these days? I don't know if it's this year specifically, but a toy that is so hot and so in demand. Is it Labubu this year?
It would be right now, but again, I don't really consider that a toy as much as I consider it an accessory or a collectible.
Yeah.
For toys, it's interesting because we don't necessarily see the crazes like the Cabbage Patch Kids craze of '83 anymore, but there are things that are hot. Pokemon remains hot. You find, like a couple years ago, fingerlings were a big deal. Shopkins before that. Beanie Babies, of course, which are still around. They have Beanie Bouncers this year, which are awesome. Great stocking stuffer. $5 still.
There you go.
So lots of different, and another local company, Thai, also in the western suburbs.
Oh, that's true. I
Gotta look. And by the way, that Vernon Hills company,
Learning Resources, Hand to Mind.
That's right. They are like at the center of the political world right now.
They sure are.
It's their issue with the tariffs because a lot of their the products they sell, they rely on imports.
They're the lead plaintiff in that Supreme Court case that just had oral arguments on the 5th.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this, you know, and I love the idea of getting these, putting them in the stocking, so the kids are like teased, like, hey, what is this?
What is this for?
And then you unveil all the tubing later. That might be a good one.
The houses are going to be rocking.
Thanks for the ideas.
You're quite welcome.
Okay, we're going to take another very, very quick break. When we come back, we are going to be visited by a very cool person who's going to guide us through everything we need to know about navigating the fall and early winter concert and live show scene right here in Chicago. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Anthony.
If you're
the first Friday of the month, and that's getting you ready for your weekend plans. Maybe you don't have anything planned for this week, but we're going to help you out. We're joined with music journalist Selena Fergassi. She's here with the top concerts for the month of November, and this is so helpful because I get really overwhelmed when I am like, oh, you know, I'd love to see a show. Okay, where do I even start to look? Well, you're a great resource. So let's go through some of the list of what's coming up, maybe early November. Let's start with.
Yeah, and you guys talked about this weekend too, which tomorrow, if you're at home and need something to do, Disney Plus will be streaming the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Oh!
So big deal. If you want to see like White Stripes, Outkast, Soundgarden, Cyndi Lauper, one of my personal favorites, getting inducted, that's tomorrow.
Well, and that's nice because the weather isn't going to be that great. So being inside,
when's that
cozying
live
up.
stream happening? Do you know offhand?
Yeah, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. our time, Disney
Okay.
Plus, if you have it.
Okay,
Disney
interesting.
Plus, a lot of us do have that subscription. That's a really good heads up there. Okay, in terms of getting off the couch and going places, what do we got coming up for early November, Selena?
Well, there's so many. Like you think November, we're getting snow. There's still shows though. So one of my favorites, this new band called Die Spitz. They're German. They're not German, but the name is Die Spitz. But they're a 4-piece, all-women punk rock band from Austin. They're in their 20s. I just saw them at Shuba's back in May, and I was blown away. I saw circle pits and moshing at Shuba's. I've never seen that in my life.
Tiny, like stage area. So they must get, I mean,
yeah, they're incredible. They bring in a little bit of like Black Sabbath metal with like L7 punk. Just totally an interesting brand of music from just 4 women in their 20s. And Jack White loved them so much he signed them to Third Man Records.
Wow, I mean, that's pretty unique. Do you feel like there's kind of a push, a craving from people in Chicago for that kind of music?
Oh yeah, Chicago has such a diverse music fan base here that I think we have a lot of classics we're going to talk about coming to town this month, but those new and up and comers, and we have a lot of live music venues to support that, like Empty Bottle and Metro. So yeah.
So you've seen them when they were at Shuba's. They're upgrading a little bit in terms of the size of the venue, Lincoln Hall, but these are still very small venues. If these guys, I mean, they were just signed, you said, if these guys blow up, you could say, I saw them when.
Yeah, and I think they'll probably be on the festival circuit next year if I can forecast. So see them now.
Yeah, see them now while the getting's good.
Well, there's another one, November 12th, Robert Plant at the Vic. in November 13th.
Robert Plant.
Whoa.
The Robert Plant.
The Robert Plant.
Robert
Scout.
Plant
That's cool.
of Led Zeppelin fame.
Yes.
Just Robert, because sometimes he performs with Alison
I didn't
Krauss.
realize he was performing.
Yes, this is kind of adjacent to that. So he and Alison Krauss did like a bluegrass country kind of thing. That's still kind of active, but he has a brand new project. It's called Saving Grace, and he's pairing up with another vocalist. Her name is Susie Deanne, and it's really, he calls it, I have it quoted here, Songbook of the Lost and Found. So it's like centuries old roots music. So he's got songs he's doing from Memphis Minnie, Blind Willie Johnson. So if you love roots music, you love his voice, go see it. It's at 2 very intimate theaters, the 12th at Vic and the 13th at Old Town School.
How is his voice these days? I haven't heard, you know, we rotate through some of the classic rocks where his voice was just literal, I mean, it was like unlike anything else in rock and roll. Has it stood the test of time? Because I know a lot of these aging rockers, they lose an octave or so.
But they keep on rocking.
They keep on rocking. There's Robert Plant right there.
Wow.
Still got the hair.
You still got the look, right? I mean, the high notes are hard, right? But I think roots music is in a really good tonal range for him because you can go a little lower with it. So I think it's worth the very expensive ticket.
And then he is going to be at Old Town School the following day. These are great places to see shows. So Vic, Old Town School. Is that the one up in on Lincoln Avenue?
Yeah. Both north side.
Very good.
Okay, and then this is a pretty popular name, Patti Smith.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Another legend this month. So Patti Smith, who was born right here in Chicago, she brings that up every time she plays a show. But she is celebrating 50 years of her seminal album, Horses, which came out in '75. It gave us Gloria, it really merged rock and punk. It made her status as the punk rock laureate. So go see her.
Gabby's always telling me how much cooler my wife is than me, which is true. I got her for her birthday. I got her tickets to Patti Smith.
No way! That is so cool.
She and her friend who gave her there's a book that she wrote back in the day called Just Kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
And her friend got it, so they're going to go. But my understanding is they actually had to add a show. Or they did add a show.
Oh,
it's right around the corner here.
The 17th.
Nights. And actually not too bad. $55 for the balcony, 100 main floor.
Oh wait, that's not bad.
Yeah.
When you kind of said that Robert Plant was a little more expensive.
A little pricey. So Old Town School is totally sold out. I don't think there's any resale for that unless maybe StubHub. But the Vic, you can still get resale, but it's going to be like $350.
Ooh.
Whoa.
But you could say, I mean, this is like, Robert Plant.
It is,
Not to be ageist, but you know, these legends are kind of getting up there in age, and we just really don't know if it's going to sadly be the last time. So go see them while you can.
Yes.
Do we know what neighborhood Patti Smith grew up in? I guess I didn't know that.
I don't know.
She was born at the old Chicago hospital, the one like near the expressway over there.
Okay.
I don't remember what neighborhood though.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up later, huh?
North Side?
But she is a Chicagoan. Interesting.
All right, November 21st through 30th. What is this? A night of melancholy and infinite sadness. Oh, this is at the Lyric.
Yeah,
Tell us about
so
this group.
I wore my orange today for the Smashing Pumpkins. I'm a huge fan of Smashing Pumpkins, but their album Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness turned 30 in October. So Billy Corgan worked with the Lyric Opera to totally reimagine it. So you're going to hear operatic takes and strings and instrumentals for these songs like Zero, Tonight Tonight, Bullet with Butterfly Wings, and then the visuals too. So this album, if you remember some of the videos, very like Art Deco, and they've kind of reimagined that. So I'm not quite sure how this will come together, but I think it's going to be a really interesting
Is Billy Corgan going to be there for these performances?
I would
or is
imagine
it just
so.
his?
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be there at some point in some capacity. That's pretty cool. Okay, we were talking about some legends and Robert Plant, Patti Smith, Billy Corgan. Not the only legends that are going to be performing here in Chicago in the month of November. 3 more major names from Selena when we come back after this.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. We're with music journalist Selena Fragasi, talking about November concerts. Selena, have you ever had a request from someone saying like, hey, mind meeting me at this bar later on and let's do some music trivia and you be my partner? Because I might be asking you pretty soon if there's a high dollar
No one's
purse.
Like trivia game?
Well, okay, then I'm the first.
I'm your gal.
Let's make it happen. Let's pick a date. Speaking of dates, there's some more concerts that are happening later on in the month. We already talked about Patti Smith, Di Spritz, which was interesting. But Sarah McLaughlin,
McLaughlin.
That's what I thought. I've actually never, I don't think, read it before.
Yeah.
I
That
know
was
her.
tough last
She's an
night.
old
Everyone knows her. If you see those ASPCA commercials in the middle of the night.
They always
Sarah
make me
McLachlan.
cry.
No, right?
Yeah, they always make me
So
cry.
bring Kleenex maybe for Sarah.
Yeah, so Auditorium Theater?
Auditorium.
Well, is she out with any new music these days? Or is
So
this
yeah,
kind of
she has a brand new album. It's called Better Broken. So it's her first new album in 10 years that she's performing.
Yeah.
Her voice is just impeccable. It's like angels on your shoulders.
It really
the best way
is.
to
And her
describe it.
piano, too, is
She's great. And
gorgeous.
Sarah's been making news recently. She just was behind a brand new documentary about Lilith Fair that is on Hulu right now. It just came out last month, but really about that festival she coordinated in the 90s with all women. Yeah.
I remember that. It came through what was then the New World Music Theater down in Tinley Park. I remember it came through there.
Yeah.
Very big deal.
Look at you guys.
This is before,
Yeah, and it was very, at a time when a lot of women artists weren't necessarily adopted fully by the music industry, so creating a festival with solely women was a big deal.
Wow, okay. At the United Center, which obviously that means that it's going to be a big name.
show.
Mr. Paul McCartney.
Sir.
Sir
Sir.
Paul
Oh,
McCartney.
sorry. Excuse me.
Yes. Don't let him
Bill is back.
see
Sorry,
that.
everybody.
Yeah, he might get in trouble. He's been knighted.
Yes.
Okay,
He's
Gabs?
official.
He's been.
November 24th to the 25th.
Are we looking at like 350, like the Robert Plant?
Yeah,
stuff too?
so I'm putting this on here because you have to put Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
But don't feel bad if you can't go because these tickets are outrageous.
They are.
How
Well,
much
what's the
we're
range?
talking, Bob?
Okay, so we're talking about $460 for the nosebleeds.
Whoa.
So like $1,200 main floor, all resale though. This is not face value at this point.
Oh, because these are resale. This
do you
is
get into that
unbelievable.
business?
When you get to a certain point,
I know.
because then it's essentially $460 to say that you have seen Paul McCartney.
It's true.
Right.
You know, like it's almost just like a notch in the belt kind of thing. Like I've seen him live, but I mean he still does have it. I know he's getting older. Just
Yeah,
an
he's
amazing musician.
83. 83, and these two dates are the very last dates of this tour. So maybe he's doing something special, but he's still in the news all the time. There's a documentary coming out in February, Man on the Run, about his career, and he's packed the set list. I saw it with Beatles and Wings too.
Beatles and
Oh,
Wings
that's
stuff.
so cool. Okay, quickly, the concert November 29th, because I want to get to the Grammys too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Something's at the Riv on the.
Yes. Damiano David.
Okay.
So as a fellow Italian, I love this kid.
There we go.
Yes. He was in the band, hopefully still in the band. I'm not sure if they're active anymore, but they're Måneskin. They were at Lollapalooza a few years ago. They have that really popular song, Beggin', the cover of Frankie Valli.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
really,
yeah,
really good,
yeah,
right?
okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
all over on the radio, MTV. But he's gone solo, and it's a bit more cinematic, dark orchestral pop. I think he just got engaged to Duff Cameron, so there's kind of like a younger.
Oh, it's this.
element
I know
there.
exactly
You know what
who
I'm talking
this
about?
is.
Very
Yes,
good
okay.
looking.
Yeah,
he
no,
could be an
he's a
actor as
beauty.
well.
Okay.
But he has a great voice, and I highly recommend him.
Very quick before we let you go, I understand within the last hour or so we have some
Breaking news.
Grammy nominations. Any highlights you can sprinkle in here before we go?
Yeah, not a ton of surprises.
Okay.
One is Taylor Swift is not nominated because,
that's a surprise.
her album missed the cutoff.
Oh,
It's
okay,
released
so
in
it's next
October.
year. Got it.
True.
So there's maybe a fair playing field for other people at this
Yeah.
point. But Sabrina Carpenter, Kendrick Lamar, and Lady Gaga are leading the nominations right now.
Okay, no
Okay,
major
not
surprises there.
surprising,
Nope,
yeah.
not at all.
But all
Selena
great
Fragasi.
albums, so yeah.
Thank you
for
so
being
much
here.
for coming
Yeah,
on.
thanks you guys.
Appreciate
We're going to have you back in December.
Always.
Is there a big lineup in December too?
Yeah,
There's
and
gonna
some
be.
holiday-specific shows in there as well. There's a lot.
Come back next month and we'll
We
preview.
have a whole other hour of Chicago Now, and I'm telling you, it's pretty exciting. There's going to be a big name, a face you're going to recognize that's going to be coming up on your screen just after this short break.
Ooh, good tease, Gabs. We'll be right back.
Tia Ewing joining us.
Yes,
after a couple
days.
My
cord is showing. It's so hard to get situated
We only have a short break. We want to keep you guys in, right? So we didn't want to give you 2 minutes, just 1 minute. Did you know it's Anthony Ponce's birthday?
I did. I saw it online. I meant to tell him happy birthday in person.
He's right here. Look at him.
Happy birthday to you, Anthony. You don't look a day over 25. So I see you. I'm curious what you're doing for your birthday.
Oh, it's a guys' weekend. It's going to be
dinner.
Interesting.
I'm so happy that it's Friday.
I am too.
Yeah, it feels like a weight is lifted off of my shoulders. I'm sure our viewers feel the same way. Anytime Friday rolls around, it's a reason to get excited. But you also got to get excited for the next hour of this show that we have coming up. Social media star Elyse Myers is in Chicago.
This is a big deal.
Yes, it is. To celebrate the release of her new book, she's here in studio to tell us all about it. And Babysitter just released its top 10 list of names that people are choosing for the year 2025 for boys and girls. The number one name I wasn't surprised about, because I feel like that's everybody's little girl's name right now. But we'll get into it.
I was just going to ask you, but that'd be ruining it for everybody.
I'll give you a hint. It starts with an O and ends with an A.
Oh, I know it.
Okay, so there you go. That's everybody's name, right?
Yeah, it kind of is.
But first, we're learning about something that is really, sounds like it's really innovative, really groundbreaking in the world of medicine. A new blood test that can detect up to 50 different types of cancer. A local doctor is actually joining us right now to explain how all of this works.
This is Dr. Muhammad Abazid, thank you, with Northwestern Medicine. Thank you so much, doctor. I'm sorry about your last name. Did I get it right, though?
You were close enough.
Okay. Well, you know, we want to make sure it's correct. So you introduce yourself first with your full name. But let's talk about this blood test. Is it different than traditional ones that we've used for cancer screenings in the past?
Yeah, it's a great question, Gabby. It's good to be with you, Tia and Gabby. So we know that there are general principles in cancer care, that the earlier that you can detect a cancer, the better the outcome is going to be. So there's been a lot of innovation, a lot of excitement around these blood tests. Number one, because they're not that invasive, right? It's just simply a blood draw. So think of cancers, even small cancers in your body, they can secrete these signals and we can catch them through the blood. And that gives us an indication whether you're at high risk of developing a cancer or relatively low risk. So this particular study showed in more than 25,000 patients that were ages of greater than 50 years old, that you can begin to detect, in some cases, pretty aggressive cancers at an earlier stage than traditional screening. And those traditional screenings are things that we're all familiar with: colonoscopies, mammography, and CT scans for the lung. And so there's a lot of excitement around this kind of technology. And as we project forward, I think this is going to be part of cancer care.
So is this a test that is widely available right now for people? Or is this still kind of like in the pipelines and it hasn't trickled down to every single hospital yet?
So it's a commercially available test. Anybody can get this test. You do have to pay out of pocket currently because Grail, which is the company that's developed the test, still has to go through FDA, Food and Drug Administration approval. And if it does do that, if it hits its milestones of reducing cancer deaths or improving survival, then ultimately this will be covered by insurance if those metrics are met. But for now, it is available. In terms of the information that we know about it, we're not really sure whether it's going to bend what we call the stage curve in cancer. That is, are there going to be less later stage cancers versus early stage cancers going forward as this test is implemented? Once Grail and other companies acquire that data, they'll go to the FDA and this will be ultimately covered. But for now, it costs about $900. And the report is issued, and I think it's best in the context of doing this with your primary care doctor or your oncologist to really interpret the test and know what to do after that test result has been obtained.
I mean, how long are we talking this period where it needs to be, proven until it's readily available for more people and it's not out of pocket anymore?
Yeah, so there's a huge UK, United Kingdom study that's looking at many more thousands of patients where they're acquiring that data. So that's due to report out in 2027. And this is just Grail. There are other companies like Tempus and others that are developing these capabilities and trying to extract that information. The FDA approval process is rigorous. I think it's appropriately rigorous because we want to make sure that if we implement tests and support them financially, that they're actually helping patients discover cancer and not just adding anxiety and finding cancers that otherwise wouldn't have impacted their lifespan.
You know, doctor, we hear people say for various cancers, early detection is key. We hear that repeatedly. In this case of this blood test, how early are we talking about that it can actually detect cancer in someone's body?
Right, so our traditional methods of detecting cancer include whether it's mammography, lung CT scanning, colonoscopy, which is effectively a camera that looks at the colon structure and looks for polyps. Those are obviously more invasive. They require more regular testing. In this case, the ability to detect effectively a needle in a haystack. So cancers, as they develop these markers, and these markers get shed into our blood. So the lead time in terms of identifying these cancers much earlier can be months to many, many years in advance. And so that's the excitement. Again, we have to wait for the final results showing in specific cancers. Now that once you implement this test, you're having less stage 4, stage 3 cancers and more stage 1 and stage 2s. But the promise of that is really exciting.
You talked about, you know, some of the other methods are more invasive. So I have a follow-up to what you just said there. So is this a situation that if the cancer is then detected in your blood, it can then be identified which portion of the body now has cancer, or will there still be further testing and other methodologies that would have to be done?
Yeah, that's a really insightful question. So it's important to know whether somebody has cancer in their body. Of course, it's substantially more important to know where that cancer is, because it can help direct your downstream diagnostic testing. And so this incorporates a new technology using fragmentomics, which is a technical word for saying it can detect hallmarks of particular organs. So not only will it tell you that you have cancer, but potentially it'll tell you where that cancer might be, whether it's in the pancreas, the liver, the breast, or elsewhere. So that's really helpful, because the downstream testing to confirm whether you have a cancer is dependent on which organ is involved. So that's really, once these technologies become more advanced and more specific like this, I think those of us that are in the screening and the therapeutic realm get really excited.
I mean, well, this can change a lot of things when it comes to detecting cancer, something that impacts almost everyone. Maybe they have it, you know, from one of their peers. They've seen the struggles that people go through. So, doctor, we're going to take a quick break real quick, and we're going to talk more about this blood test that can detect 50 types of cancer right after this short break.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. We've been talking about a new blood test that really takes early detection to a whole nother level in terms of cancer. It can identify 50 different types of cancers, and we've been talking to Dr. Mohammed Abazid with Northwestern Medicine about this. Doctor, welcome back. We want to continue this conversation.
Yeah, you know, one question I had for you, since this is so new, people are still paying out of pocket. You said it was maybe around $900. Are you finding right now that maybe young people or you know, middle-aged people with a little bit more coin in their pocket who can afford this are leaning towards this test just to see like on a scale how healthy they are, because it could potentially give you years in advance of a future cancer diagnosis?
Right. I mean, I think you touch on a couple of key points there. The first is, you know, what do you do when there isn't the ultimate findings, clinical findings that support its long-term use? And so we're in an era where there is innovation, but we don't know the impact of that innovation. And so, you know, when there is a lot of uncertainty, and the diagnosis of cancer can be, in many cases, quite serious, but anxieties can lead to somebody deciding to take this test. And I don't think that's completely inappropriate, but I also think it needs to be done in the context of what do you do with the result. So if you have a negative result, I suppose you can assume that your risk is low, but that's not always the case because there's always false negative findings with any diagnostic test. If it's a positive result, what do you do? Right, you still need a structure that allows you to then go on and confirm that finding and then address that cancer early on. So it's not important to just detect cancer. You obviously have to intervene to prevent its progression or potentially affect a cure. The other aspect that your question touches on is really equity, right? How do we make sure that this is available to all people and not just to those who can afford the test? And I think that's a really important question in health economics, and that's something we'll have to address.
Doctor, when I think about a blood test, I've taken plenty over the years. I'm sure you've taken a few blood tests too. And, you may take it hoping for one result, but when you get that panel back, it kind of shows you everything, the full scope of, what's going on with your body. In this case, is this test only tracking for cancer, or will it identify if there are other issues going on inside of your body as well?
Yeah, this test in particular is looking for specific markers of cancer. And just to be clear, the test alone isn't confirmatory. And again, additional downstream diagnostics, including biopsies, actual needle biopsies, in some cases may be warranted. There are other indications for these types of blood tests, to your point, which is in some cases it may identify toxicities. And so different types of blood testing like this is interested in looking at liver toxicity, for example, early signs of kidney toxicity. In patients who are receiving cancer therapy, if we're damaging their lung tissue, there may be some indications through the blood that there is incipient toxicity or pending toxicity that allows us to intervene earlier. So these types of blood tests, although this one is more selective, these types of blood tests will have other indications beyond detecting cancer.
Doctor, I'm thinking about my own health journey, and I'm sure a lot of women out there can identify with this. You have to have that annual mammogram, right? It comes around. Most people are on pins and needles about it. I had one not too long ago. It came back that they saw something, so then they did have to be invasive. Is this a situation where before we would have to go invasive, they could do the blood test to see if there was even something there before we go invasive? Or how would that potentially work, in terms of methodology and following, like the rubrics of what you do, in certain circumstances in medicine?
I mean, those are all great questions, and we have to find how this type of testing fits into our current screening paradigm. So I think you're absolutely right to pose those questions. So first and most critical, I think your audience needs to know that these aren't in lieu of the current screening methodologies. So if you're getting yearly mammograms, you should continue getting yearly mammograms, even if the blood test is negative. But how we implement this, theoretically, you would get the blood test as a supplement to the current screening, and that will be additional bits of information. So traditional screening can miss things, the blood test can miss things, but in combination, we're hopeful that we're able to detect more cancers earlier and then intervene on those cancers.
I like that.
Yeah,
makes sense to me.
So, in the coming years, when this is more widespread, people are using it more. Who is eligible for the test? Do you have to show a lot of symptoms before you're even considered to have this blood test?
Yeah, so in the 25,000 patient study, you had to actually be asymptomatic, meaning you had no symptoms from any signs of cancer. You had to be over 50 years old. But this test is generally available to those who are willing to pay to take it for now. Ultimately, insurance guidelines, if it does get approved by the FDA, there'll be explicit guidelines in terms of its utilization, and physicians.
Very insightful. Of course, this is something we'll have to follow to see if it does get that approval, that it needs to be more widespread. We appreciate your time today and coming on the show.
It's been a pleasure talking to you.
You as well.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, very innovative. We talked to someone else about a blood test not too long ago. A lot of different innovations in medicine.
It's crazy to think and imagine what healthcare is going to be like in a few years, but I'm telling you, with something that touches kind of everyone's life, cancer, unfortunately, this could make a big difference.
Yeah, hopefully it makes us a more healthy society moving forward. Okay, we have a lot coming up on this show. I'm sure you've seen the viral video at some point. We're talking about Elyse Myers. She's stopping in Chicago for her new book tour. We're going to talk to her right after this break.
Chicago Now. Wow, you're gonna know this face. Hello, Elyse Myers.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming in. I mean, you're huge on social media. You're also big into books too, and that's part of the reason we have you here in Chicago, which we'll talk about in a second. But I don't know, 4 years ago, you had a video that kind of went viral and pretty much changed your life.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar, maybe you've been living under a rock. I don't know. It's always going to be funny.
Yes.
But let's show you just a small clip.
First date I've ever been on. I'm so glad you asked. I'm going to tell you right now. Before I met my smoke show of a husband, I was on dating apps. As you do. This man messages me out of the blue and he goes, I like your face. Let's go get some food. I love food. Are you my soulmate? He says, meet me at my house. I will drive us to the restaurant together. Why did we not just meet there? I have no idea. I drive 45 minutes to his house. He's standing outside of it. He walks up to my car and he goes, I've lost my keys. Can you drive us there? Should I have just left him right there and gone home? Yes. Did I? Absolutely not. He gets in, starts giving me turn-by-turn directions. He could have been leading me to an abandoned warehouse and he still would have been like, left at this stop sign? Okay. We end up at a Taco Bell, which is fine. I'm like, dine-in or drive-through? And he's like, drive-through. And I'm like, great, he has a plan. We get to the speaker and he just leans over and goes, I would like 100 hard-shell tacos, thank you. We get to the window. He does one of these numbers. And I'm like, did you forget your wallet? And he's like, yeah. I was like, do you need me to pay? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. I buy the 100 tacos, and I'm like, where to next? And he goes, back to my house. And I was like, okay, this is happening. I'm committed to this now. It's happening. We get to his house, we walk in, his dad is on the couch. I'm like, he lives with his dad, it's fine. The hoops I am teleporting through to convince myself that this decision that I have made is okay is just wild. Walk past his dad into the kitchen. He just starts emptying the boxes of tacos, just releasing them onto the table. Puts 2 chairs at the table, sits down, and he just screams at the top of his lungs, let's feast.
I gotta ask
Anthony
you
Ponce
this.
before. He
Was
loves
this
Taco Bell.
a real story?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
And did you ever hear from the guy again?
No.
Good.
No.
Very good.
Oh, wow.
That
And
video is just
now
as
here
funny.
you are. I know. And it never gets old. We've watched it a million times. Okay, well, you're here for not only your great social media career, but also New York Times bestseller.
How does that feel?
It's really bizarre, actually. I could cry. I'm not going to. I might, actually. No, I'm honestly so honored, and writing this book was such a cool experience. I've always been a writer, and I've loved writing, and so for someone to be like, yeah, you're very good at it, here you go. It's like, wow, I'm good at it. You know what I mean? That feeling of it's very validating. It's really cool.
Talk about what's inside of that book. What is the book all about?
So it's like about my life, but it's like short stories and poems. It's not very like memoir-y. To be honest, I really wanted it to feel like when you know when you meet like your person forever and you have all these random stories at coffee that you're like, let me tell you all about them, that don't seem like they're connected, but then when you meet your person, it's more like you reflecting back on your life and it all makes sense now in hindsight of that. That's kind of what that book feels like. And then I drew stuff and took stuff out of my journal, and even the end pages, I drew the end pages. Like, can I pick it up and show you?
Yeah, please.
So
do whatever you want.
A lot of little illustrations.
And show
like
it to
that.
the camera.
Oh, yeah.
Show it to this camera right here.
Look how nice that is.
Yeah, and so just stuff like that all throughout the book. I wanted it to feel like you're picking up my journal and reading it, kind of.
So after meeting you, I feel like you're an artist.
Yeah.
You know, when I watched that video and look back at it 4 years ago, I felt like I was watching someone that was a comedian in a way.
Yeah.
But when I meet you in person, you have like a spirit of an artist.
Wow.
How do you see yourself?
Yeah, artist, creative. I think that I'm a maker. I just like making things, and so whatever that is, whether it's videos or it's illustrations or it's books or it's music or new friends, well, I don't know. Like I really like making fun things, and so I'll always do that no matter what. And so it's fun to share those different mediums with everybody.
Well, you're so personable, which I think is why you're so successful on social media. And you're not the average content creator, I would say, right? You're a little more artsy. You're true to yourself. You could definitely tell that, and you're so genuine, I have to say.
Thank you.
Meeting someone with millions of followers in person, you never know what you're going to get. And you reminded me that you live in Nebraska. You're not in one of the big 3 cities.
No.
You know, how do you kind of stay true to yourself with all this fame, with being a New York Times bestseller? I know.
Every time I hear it, I'm like, say it again.
Crazy.
Say it again. Well, honestly, I think that living in Nebraska really helps with that, but I think because it's just for the love of what I do, I think that it always kind of changes and keeps you like grounded in that way. But also I have a husband and 2 children, and my kids don't care what I do. They're like, I just want to go to the park and I want to have ice cream for dinner. And I'm like, okay, great. Like that's a great way to kind of keep you in it and humble and all of that. But yeah, I just like what I do so much that I don't ever want to lose it, and I don't want to become a person that isn't who started making all of these things in the beginning.
We have people that come on this show that have careers like yours that just seemingly blew up overnight. How has that felt for you to go from, I'm guessing at one point you just had a few hundred followers, to being like a brand? You're like a walking brand now.
Yeah, wow. I guess I am. Sorry. Like, okay, yes. No, I think that I had a career before this. I was a web developer and owned my own business. And so, to be honest, I kind of had that before in a different way. It wasn't like me and my face, but it was what I did, and I built that out for myself. And so I feel kind of lucky that I had that foundation of business and understanding how to build something from the ground up. And then when it shifted, it was more just shifting what I did, but that business side of it was still the same. And I feel like I kind of got naturally like ushered into that. And then when I started making content and it was just a few followers, obviously the idea wasn't like, I'm gonna become famous. I just liked waking up and making videos. And so when that video came out, I had been waking up at like 4 in the morning because I was nursing my son at the time. So I was like pumping and eating. And then I would record a video, edit it, come back upstairs, and then do my real job from like 9 to 5. And when I did that video, I came upstairs and I was like, Jonas, no one's gonna watch that. Oh, my husband's name's Jonas. And he's like, just, you wake up and just make a video every day because you love it. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but no one's gonna watch that. That was terrible. It was way too long. And now here we are.
When did you realize that people were watching it? Were you working and realized, whoa?
Yeah, so my husband and son were playing on the ground, like with little toys, and I'm working, and Jonas is like, Elyse? And I was like, yeah. And I come in the living room, and he's like, the video has 1 million views. And this was like within, I think, an hour of it.
Oh, wow.
By that night, I think a news station in Paris DM'd me on Instagram and was like, can we play this video? And I was like, who is pranking me? Like, this has to be a joke. And it just, it really fast after that. It was like, it felt like 1 million people were standing in my living room, and I was like, how did all of you get here? How is this happening? It was wild.
That's incredible.
You know what? You're such a great storyteller, so it's just captivating. But how has your content changed throughout the years? I mean, that was what it was 4 years ago, right?
Yeah.
That first initial video that we showed you all. Yeah, what is your kind of content like now? I also want you to sneak in because you have some book reviews. So you're a bookie.
Yes, of course, yeah. I think that I've just become more comfortable with myself and sharing myself online. I think that originally it started more just with storytelling, and then I was like, well, I also sing, so I'll do that. And I also am a reader, so I'll do that. And also I like to cook, and I'll do that. And also I love sketches, and I love crocheting. And I'm a neurodivergent person, so really what you're gonna get on my page is whatever I'm really obsessed with at that time. And books will always be that common thread, but it's cool because before I wrote my book, I was doing those book reviews, and so I felt like I got to experience the reader side of it, and now I get to experience the writer side of it. And you better believe my reviews are going to be very different now that I'm an author, because I'm like, I was so harsh on so many people, and they gave their whole life to this thing, and I just was like, it wasn't good, and I'm just like, oh my God. Yeah, it's very different, but it's cool.
I love that your videos are authentic. They don't feel, some of these influencers, you meet them in person, they don't even look like the same person.
No.
You're like, wait, who are you?
Yeah.
I bet that's disorienting. That must be wild.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a big question for you, but we have to take a quick break.
Great.
So we're gonna go to break. Don't turn your channel. We'll be right back.
This
I said I had a big question before we went to break, and I'm just curious, the fact that you've blown up in this way, have you had an experience where you're out and about, you're minding your own business, and somebody's like, wait a minute, I know you, because that has to be a different experience. Do you remember when it happened and what that experience was like?
The very first time?
The very first time.
It was at a coffee shop. I was in the drive-thru, and I I got my coffee, and he handed it to me, and he didn't let go of the cup because he goes, oh my God, I've seen your videos. And so we're both like holding hands through this cup, and I was like, hello, and so I was like, I wonder when he's gonna give me my coffee, and so I just started kind of driving a little bit, hoping he would like take his hand away, and I was like, my name's Elyse, and he goes, I know, and I'm like, okay, what's your name? And like, it was just very funny. Awkward. And I went home to tell Jonas, and I was like, I don't think that'll ever happen again, probably, but like, what a wild experience. And then now it's every time I leave my house, which is really cool.
How does that feel though? Because you went from, you know, just living your normal life. Yeah. I'm sure with your kids, you don't always want people to be like, you know, knowing where you live, knowing where you go. How has that been for you?
As somebody
handling it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm incredibly socially anxious, and so it's trial by fire, like trying to just like get me to catch up on how to do that and have those conversations with people. But I'm used to it now. But at the beginning, it felt scary, but no, everyone's so kind. What I'm really grateful for is like the audience that I've built is so much like me. That sounded like I was like, I'm so kind. So obviously, no, but like, no, it's been, the people that come up to me are very much like me, and they're nervous and I'm nervous, and so we're nervous together, and it's a very sweet interaction.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You talk a lot about that journey and you know, how it's changed and probably how it's come with fame now. And a lot of people connect to that, but was it hard making your first video really talking about yourself and, you know, social anxiety, whatever it might be facing with mental health?
No, and what's funny is whenever that question is asked, it's like, maybe I should have been more nervous about it, but like, I feel really comfortable just telling you that I mean, I had a panic attack last night. I'm like, it's all good though, but like, no, it's fine. Yeah. Like, it's just a part of life. Like, for me, that's just, my brain is wired a certain way. And so I think that the more normal, not what's normal, but the more often we can like talk about it just without a lot of like, just neutrally, very neutral. Yeah. I think it's really, really helpful for people because there's so much shame attached to mental health, and it's so fascinating because it's just kind of, it can be just a part of who you are, and it changes the way that your life looks, but if you can kind of learn how to adjust your life around it, you can make your life work for you, and you can invite people into that.
Do you feel like, you know, turning on that camera for you is almost like a sense of therapy and or relief in a way?
I wouldn't
like
say,
a calming or...
Yeah, I think that honestly it's therapeutic for me because when as many times as your ears can hear your mouth say things, you start to like really believe it and sink in. And so as much as I'm like encouraging other people in some of my videos, I'm encouraging myself. And so that like mouth, brain, ear connection, I think I'm solidifying with the content that I make, which is really powerful for me. So yeah, therapeutic in a way.
I love that.
And I bet maybe writing too was probably pretty therapeutic as well. Yeah. Getting your life into writing. Did you ever think, I mean, it was sold out like right away, pretty much, right? It was like only 24 hours,
the
a couple
tour?
Days. No, your book.
Oh, not sold out, but the tour was sold out.
The tour is sold out.
Yeah.
Wow.
How do you say tour?
Tour.
Tour?
The tour.
Like, okay, so now you guys are a hybrid. Every single show I go to, I had one person say, I said tour because I'm from California. I think it's like an East Coast. And now it's a whole thing. Now I'm afraid to say it out loud.
The tour. The tour.
Tour.
Whatever you want to call it.
Well, I do have a, go ahead.
Well, I want to say, and that's part of the reason you're here. You're going to be at Everybody's Coffee in Uptown. How exciting is it to, actually be in that space and see people in person, all your fans, knowing that they're appreciating and supporting your work too?
It is wild. I'm like, I have never public spoke in my life. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, public speaking.
Yeah. And I was so nervous, but I had done other things for other people. So the first event I did, I walked into the room, and it was like I wasn't nervous because I realized there was like so much belief in me in that room that all that favor is already there, that like I'm not winning you over, like you know me and you like me, and I am now here talking to you, and I just felt like I could have shot up right into outer space. I was so excited. Like it's been really special to make that connection with people and to get to see people's faces because they know who I am and I don't get to meet them. And then now like progressing in the tour, people have read the book, and so they're telling me like how they connected to the stories, and it is so mind-boggling that they have read it. I don't know. It's like it's really special.
You seem very humble by the fact that people are, you know, enthralled by you. You're here in Chicago tonight at 8. You're going to be at the bookstore. And
are you?
Everybody's coffee.
No, you're going to.
Oh, I was like, whoa.
I guess I'm going to be there.
Oh, yes, sorry, yes.
And then St. Louis, then you'll be in Santa Monica, California.
Yes.
So here's my question to you. People may be watching right now. It seems like the world of social media, there's so many people in that space. But what would you say to someone that may feel like, you know, I want to start there, but I don't know what to put out?
Yeah, I would say I love watching videos that people enjoyed making. So whatever that content is, like if you're wanting to get out there and make content, start with things you love about your life or things that you, hobbies or all of that. I think that people think too much about it. A lot of questions people ask me are about like niche, like how do you niche down? And I'm like, why would you do that? Like when you meet a person in real life, you're not gonna only get one side of them. Like you're a 360 person, and so let your online presence reflect that. I think that that's really important, and I think it allows people to get to know you better. You have more fun doing it, and your content is just always fresh because it's just your life. It's you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you being open about all of it too, because people would probably take that advice and just stick to one platform and not be as successful. You know, since you're such a great storyteller, and I know you have young kids, right?
Yes.
And kids are crazy. Is there something that's recently happened that you haven't shared with the audience? It's just like a funny little story about your kids, or just your life, or even like your trip into Chicago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a great question.
I'm putting you on the
spot. I'd love to tell you. Yeah. Well, I mean,
love that.
This morning I was getting. Yes, that's a great question. I'd love to tell you. Listen, no, I mean, this morning I was getting ready, and we're in like a joining hotel room. Like my family is just on this stop, and I was ironing my shirt, which I've never ironed a t-shirt and jeans, and I was like, this feels like a lot, but it's been in a suitcase. And my son pulls the iron off of the ironing board onto my husband's plasticky like jacket, not like down jacket.
It's hot.
Yeah, melted that, and then I look over and Oliver is putting my wedding ring in his mouth, and I'm just like, you went through an open heart surgery, dude. I'm not losing you to choking on my ring. That's not how you're gonna go out. Like, so I'm like going and getting my ring. Jonas is getting the iron that has the jacket on it, and I'm like, well, now I'm gonna go be on live television. So that was my morning.
And now you gotta pay for iron.
Yeah, I know.
Somehow I knew it was going to be crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? That's probably just a day in your life. I mean, juggling all this stuff, but it's probably so worth it. You know, with the kids, with the New York Times best-selling book that we have in front of us.
Say it again.
You know, good for you, and
Thank you so
I know
much.
that you're inspiring so many other people too.
Thank you.
I'm sad that it's sold out tonight at Everybody's Coffee.
I'm sure I know a person. I'm sure I can.
We can get in there.
Oh my God.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
Please.
Do you like making things?
Yeah.
What do you like to make?
I like to make videos and content and things like that. Yeah.
It's funny, I'll start a video.
I do.
Actually, you could look through my phone, and it's been like maybe the last 4.
I'm just kidding.
Probably last 8 days, and 4 of the last 8 days, I've tried making a video of like a day in my life, and I get like 2 clips.
Oh my God, I do the same exact.
It's horrible. It's so embarrassing.
We're judging it. That's why.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
you just forget to film.
I forget to film.
You know what you should do? You should do a video about how it's all the failed versions of your like day in the life.
I will post it today.
Do it. Because I'm a vlogger too on YouTube, and like I will start a day in the life, but like there's so many angles and all of that too, which are really hard, and so I'll have like 2 hours of footage, and I have like 4 months of me one day at a time trying to vlog. So I'm just gonna edit together a compilation of like a failed day in the life compilation, and it's just gonna be basically me making coffee, and that's it.
And it's funny because how do other
4 months of me making coffee?
Like life seems so interesting. Like I don't know, the editing and all that kind of stuff.
Some of it is fabricated.
They make it that way.
What do I like making? Well, I need a hobby. So if you have any
let's find you a hobby. What do you like right now? Let's get you a hobby. You like crocheting?
No.
Great. Next question.
Shopping?
I like shopping, yeah, but also like I'll put things in my cart and never buy it. I'm just a weird person.
May I interest you in reading?
No, you know what? I love audiobooks.
Oh, great. I narrated my audiobook.
Hey,
all right.
I have your voice.
And you have a calming voice too.
Thank you. Someone said I have a voice for NPR, and I'm like, I'll take it.
Yeah,
thank you.
Hey.
That's actually a compliment.
I received, I received
documentaries, something.
Are you excited to be in Chicago? Have you visited the city many times before?
I mean, I'm so excited to be here. I haven't visited anything today because we just landed last night, but I love this city so much.
Deep dish or thin crust?
To me, they're not the same food. Like it's different. They're totally. I like the deep dish, but I eat it like I don't eat all of the crust, so I'll just eat it like out of this. Yeah, like it's like a goulash. I don't know. It's just, yeah. What am I? Gabagool. Sorry, I went Michael Scott there. Yeah, gabagool. Sorry.
You know, it is funny. Deep dish is the right answer, just so you guys.
I know it
except
is.
tavern style, you know, it's a whole different ball game. But yeah, it's a. I mean, how can you not like cheese and great buttery crust? Anyway,
I love it.
I
love some cheese.
Everybody's coffee. Enjoy Chicago. 8 p.m. tonight. It was so nice meeting you. I'm telling you, everyone at home. She's just as sweet as she is.
She really is.
On your phone as she is in person. So thank you. Really appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
And congratulations.
I love that. All right, stay with us. We have a lot more coming up on Chicago Now. We'll be right back.
Get any
Hey, you know what? We get a lot done in a very short break.
Yes,
welcome back to Chicago Now. From one author to another, we're with Michelle Maros. Thank you so much for joining us. Mindfulness expert, podcast host, and of course, now author. Released your first book, Dear Friend, and you're here to tell us all about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
And I was looking at the cover earlier. It's beautiful, but tell us, what does this all entail? I know that's a loaded question.
It is. So Dear Friend is a daily inspirational book. So there's actually 366 entries. You know, you could start January 1st, go to December 31st, and we have Leap Day in there. But it's really meant to be like a daily check-in where if you feel lonely or, you know, sad or misunderstood, you can open the book and get a message like you would if you were checking in with a dear friend.
Why did you think that was so necessary in a time like this?
Yeah, so I started writing the book a few years ago, and it's kind of a compilation of some of my lived experiences, lessons that I've learned, practices, tools, and it was always my intention to share that with anyone who might need it or find it helpful. And of course, as the years have gone on and now the book is out now, I am really grateful for the times that we live in, because loneliness, people feeling disconnected from their friends, family, community is, I think, at an all-time high. And so I do hope that maybe the book can be some comfort or relief for anyone that's going through that, especially in this moment in time.
Good point.
Well, you know, I love it. I love the concept because daily affirmations are just so important. But I have to ask you, you know, someone might feel a lot of pressure. You know, they actually receive the book or you know, one like it, and they maybe skip a couple of days. Should you beat yourself up and just give up on everything? Because honestly, I think if someone's like, oh, I forgot, and it just sits at the end.
You can catch up.
You can catch up.
Absolutely. I would hope that whoever has it does not feel pressure by it. I mean, you can start on Jan 1 and go through the year, or you can just open it to a random page, see what you get. If you forget one day, like, there's no stress, there are no rules. It's really meant to just be something that's nurturing for you, helpful for you, like not to add stress to your life, but hopefully to just give you a little bit of comfort and relief and no stress.
Were you yourself, because a lot of times when we talk to people that have written books, they themselves felt like they needed something like that and it wasn't available, so they then created it.
Yes.
Was that how you felt?
Absolutely. So I started, my mom and I work together at a nonprofit that we started called Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life, and we do meditation and mindfulness content. And during that, I started writing blogs every week. And the content and the things that I was writing in that blog were really what you were saying, things that I felt that I wanted to hear or wanted to create a community where people could feel seen and understood, because maybe I felt like I was missing that. And so with this book, the compilation of all of that really is, you know, it says dear friend, and I'm speaking to the reader as a friend, but I think ultimately a lot of the notes that I wrote in there were to myself and for myself, for sure.
I love that. That's always nice. You know, I have to ask, for someone who, you know, is a podcast host, you're doing other kind of platforms, then you're going from a book. You have to give yourself some credit, because it is a big change, I can imagine.
Yes.
So again, two-part question, kind of. Tell us about your podcast, and also how the transition has been to putting it now and writing a totally different platform.
Yeah, so we started the podcast a few years ago, and just this year transitioned to YouTube. So that was like a huge jump. You know, being on camera, I don't know, so it's a lot more. You all know.
Yes,
so that's been super fun. I do it with my mom, and that makes it, you know, a little more familiar and has a fun element to it. But, you know, we pull in our own experiences, some of the dynamics that we go through, family, you know, working through, you know, generational trauma and cycle breaking and all of that. And so we really do mine our family trauma for the podcast, which is fun, but also with the intention of helping other people. And then when it comes to the book, you know, I've always been someone who likes to write. And so it was really fun for me to kind of put it all together and create this book, but also, you know, something in print is like, it's there forever. So I felt a lot of extra stress and pressure of trying to make it perfect, which I realized ultimately that I kind of had to let go of the perfectionism of it and just trust that it's going to be good, and whoever needs it hopefully can have benefit from it.
I do want to talk to you about, what is it, Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life.
It's a mouthful, I know.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about it, and we're going to do that right after this break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are with Michelle Miros. I did want to ask you about Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life, how you even founded that nonprofit organization, and really what's the intent behind it?
Yeah, so my mom has actually been practicing meditation and mindfulness my whole life. And she had been teaching classes when I was younger at our local university. And in around 2012, she had kind of wanted to start to put together something a little bit more organized and structured to house what she was working on, because that was really her passion project. And around that time, I had quit my corporate job. I was actually living here in Chicago and was trying to find my own path. And I had, you know, a journalism degree. I like to write. And so I was like, maybe I can help you for a little bit of time, get you started. And here we are 13 years later, still working together. We do curriculum and courses to help people manage stress, to connect with themselves, to learn how to be present. And we really just want to give people access to these tools to help them to live a more balanced, centered life.
So not really a nonprofit, but more of a business that you guys are running with the intent of making people whole, making people better.
Yeah, we provide the curriculum at a, you know, no fee, so that was where like the nonprofit element comes in. So we do a lot of work with our local university and schools at home, and then have some digital content as well.
Okay, we'll have to definitely have people check that out too, but just for TV purposes, I mean, what are some methods that you could give us? Just some quick little things to take away through the rest of the day.
Yeah, so I know one of the methods in the book was HALT, where this is something my mom learned when she first she learned meditation and mindfulness. It's called HALT. And, you know, when you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, if you just stop or halt and see if you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, those are usually, you know, the 4 major emotions that might be fueling some of your complicated feelings. And check in with yourself, see what you need, and then you can proceed. You know, so often for me and with my mom, I usually probably need like maybe a little nap or a little snack. Otherwise, I get a little feisty with her. And it really helps. It helps things not escalate. So that's always great. And you know, people always say to me as well that they don't have time to meditate or just their schedules are too full. But I often say if you can just take a minute to close your eyes and breathe, maybe in the bathroom at work or in your car before heading into a meeting, and just centering yourself, like you can really experience the benefit. It doesn't have to be huge chunks of time.
Oh, that is nice because it's even hard, I will say, even for myself, and I can imagine, you know, maybe the new generation that's constantly on their phone.
Yeah.
Put your, also, while you're doing that, probably put your phone away, put it on the counter or something, because it could be hard even going 60 seconds just sitting in silence.
We work with high school students a lot, and I say, you know, if your alarm goes off, just put your phone down and for a minute, you know, before going on your phone. It's not always easy, but they do find benefit from it. So if you can just commit to that short amount of time and see how you feel.
It does feel like mindfulness in particular has become more mainstream.
Yes.
More people talk about it now. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because our lives are so complicated that we really have no other choice right now, or is it the climate of the world that has us here?
I think probably both. You know, people are feeling stressed, more burned out, more pulled in so many different directions, but I think also the distractions are endless. You know, technology, all of the devices, all of the platforms, like it can be so easy to just have the day go by and not really realize what has happened in a 24-hour period. And so finding these little breaks can help.
I think some people don't even, it's become, you know, I believe in therapy.
Oh, yes,
and I was talking to my therapist earlier today, and I was saying, I don't even think some people realize the things that they do. Because it's become so like normalized that being on the phone, you don't even realize somebody's talking to you right
Absolutely. Will you ever have one of those moments where you're driving and then you get there and you're like, wait, I don't know if I remember this whole drive getting here. I mean,
yeah, that happens
not great,
a little
but,
too often.
You know, it's just those moments where we are distracted and we realize that we've kind of missed out on chunks of our lives because we're not really focused on the moment.
Yeah. I think mindfulness, you know, I'm no doctor here. Please don't come writing me in my emails, folks. But I do feel like it is a form of therapy. It is a form of relaxation, taking time out for yourself, thinking things through. So I really appreciate, you know, what you're saying and what your book is about. And, you know, some people, believe it or not, some people don't have friends that inspire them every day. You know, a lot of people want to talk gossip. You know, they're not talking to you about like things that could help you get through the year, the day, you know. So this book sounds like it's something that should be on people's bucket list for buying for the holidays.
Well, you know, I have another question for you. Since it goes through the whole calendar year. You know, is there adjustments made in January versus later on in the summer? Because people might be having, you know, different seasonal feelings, I guess, for lack of better words.
Yeah, we tried to make it, you know, go along with the seasons, but also keeping in mind that if someone maybe on the other side of the world tried it, it wouldn't be, you know, exclusive to them. But certainly, you know, holiday and seasonally, we, you know, added in those elements so that you could really feel like you're in it.
It's beautiful.
But to your point about mindfulness, you know, I like to think about it as like taking your mind to the gym, and it's not always easy. And you know, you start going to the gym to lift weights, and it's hard. But if you do a little bit day by day and practice a little bit here and there, it starts to become part of your routine, and you feel like it's really making an impact on your life.
I love this one. So one page is unconditional self-love. The other is notice red flags. My eyes went right to the red flags, y'all.
You know,
I don't know what that means about my life.
It always seems like you're pretty practical. Okay, where can people find your book if they're interested?
The book is available wherever books are sold, the indie bookstores, online, at all the retailers. I think anywhere you can find books, you can buy it. So
it reminds me of like a perfect like tabletop book.
It does,
where it's not one of those situations where you have to read it every single day, but when you sit down there on your couch, you want some chill time,
and you need
it's right there for you to read. Just feel it. I mean, it's like that perfect like comfy.
Or a gift. It's a great gift.
That means a lot to me because we really tried hard to make it something that's beautiful on the outside, but also hopefully people would want to read on the inside.
It caught my eye right away.
Oh, well, thank you.
Also, with all of your different, you know, practices going on, your podcast as well, where can people find you online if they want some more info?
Yeah, so Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life is our nonprofit. You can find us at Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life. Our Our podcast is Life Happens with Barb and Michelle. My name is Michelle Maros, and my mom is Peaceful Barb, which many people know her on
She's
social
looking
media
at us
as
right
well.
now.
She
Hey,
is.
Mom.
She's here.
So lovingly, too. She's beautiful.
Oh, there's
just
Mom.
like you are.
Okay, hey,
She's
Mom.
here. Oh, okay. And then Dear Friend also, the book has
Yes, and Dear Friend.
365 daily reflections to help you along the way.
I gotta say 2 more pages I went to. I don't know if this is a sign. Release expectations and permission to be unavailable. That means I'm done after
And you're
this interview.
closing the book.
I'm
Yep.
unavailable.
I love it.
Yeah, we gotta go
Until
get this
tomorrow.
book.
I love it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Michelle,
so much for
joining us.
having
We
me.
really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to be back with some trending topics right after this very short break.
One more.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. Maybe you are expecting. We know a lot of people around here. There's something in the water.
I don't
at
know.
Fox 32.
Yeah, there
you
is
better be
something in
careful,
the water.
Gabby.
I know,
I'm just saying, and it better not come my way. I want no more kids, okay? I'm a mom of one and will remain. But maybe you are out there having a baby right now and you're like, what should I name this child? Well, the list of popular baby names is back out again. And what's really interesting is I was not surprised who was on the girl side, the number one name.
I'm not either.
Okay, so let's
You
run
go through
them,
girls, I'll
Gabby.
go through boys.
Okay, so they say the insights come from Baby Center's proprietary name data sourced from more than 350,000 babies born in 2025 to parents registered on the Baby Center app. Number 1 for girls, Olivia. I'm not, a lot of us in this, actually.
Exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Every name ends in A or E, which is very interesting here.
Oh, yeah, it does.
So Olivia, Amelia, Sophia, Emma, Isabella, Charlotte, Eliana, Ellie, which is almost like the same, right? Like Eliana is like, Ellie is like
yeah,
for
you're
short.
right.
Aurora, which I actually absolutely love.
I do love that.
And then Mia, which I'm looking at Mia right now holding up a sign for
we
us.
have a very popular Mia right
Who's
here.
one of the producers
in
of
our
this show.
studio.
Yeah, Mia, opposite of Tia, which rhymes. But anywho, yeah, I love the name Aurora.
It
out
is,
of all
it
of
is
those.
really beautiful.
And it's crazy, I never thought of it because Aurora is like right down the road here.
And I've heard that, exactly, it is a beautiful name. And I've heard on social media people use the nickname Rory for Aurora, which is super cute too, I think.
That was Story's nickname for a while, but it didn't stick.
Was Rory?
Rory.
That makes sense.
And then Tori, and then I felt like, well, Tori is kind of like a name.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like it.
It doesn't have the same sparkle, but Story has all the sparkle it needs. Okay, let's talk about boys. Maybe you're expecting a boy. I feel like some of these have been on the list for a while. Okay, guess it. You probably know.
Yeah, Noah.
Number 1 is Noah. Number 2, yeah, Liam. Oliver is cute. That's number 3. Elijah, number 4. I like seeing this one. Number 5 is Mateo.
I love that name.
It's such a beautiful name. I know that my cousin is obsessed with that little name, and it made really popular. What was that movie or that show?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
But I met someone
It's
recently.
such a cute show. Why am I blanking? Anyway, I'll get back to that.
I met someone recently, they added an S to that, and their little boy's name was Mateos.
Mateos.
And I love that too. I thought that was really cute.
Yeah, number 6 would be Levi. Number 7, Lucas, which I have a cousin named Lucas. Ezra. Number 9, Asher. And then number 10, Luca, which is kind of a play on Lucas too. Really,
I love Asher.
Asher is a cute name too,
that was
and I
on my
know
baby
a
list.
little cutie named Asher.
Asher.
But Noah, I think will always be number 1. I remember looking at a list, I think 5 years ago when I had a VO on it, and it was Noah as the number 1.
Pretty similar, yeah.
Pretty similar.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by those at all.
Send us some of the like most crazy names you've heard, because I always like hearing that. They should have this list of the most popular, and they should also have a list of the most crazy unique
Like off the cuff names?
Yeah.
Like Apple?
Like, yeah, Apple or, I don't know.
Because I forgot, that's actually a celebrity's daughter's name. Yes, Gwyneth Paltrow named her daughter Apple. Correct. I couldn't remember who, but Apple is definitely...
No comment.
Can
How
you
about
imagine
Peanut Gallery?
the
Do you have any boy names that were really off the cuff that you've heard recently?
Have you ever been, were you teased by your name at all? I was teased by my name. And
there were just teachers who could not pronounce my name for the life of me.
Why?
Actually, my mom didn't want to name me Gabriella because she knew it mean Gabby. And so for a long time, majority of my childhood, she tried to get people at school to not call me Gabby. Don't know how that happened. Yeah.
Interesting.
But my dad loved the name Gabriella. And so, you know, we settled on, I wasn't born. They settled on Gabriella. But there was a teacher that would always call me Gaybella.
Really?
And she just could not for the life of her, and I don't, you know, judge or anything, but it was just, it stuck with me for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, so Gabriella, it's not too hard, I don't think.
I was called Chia. Chia. Remember the Chia Pet, the pottery that grows? Yeah, people enjoy that. Okay, we got to talk about the Louvre. At the time of the, listen, we haven't read this, okay, so we got to look at the card.
Yeah, and you know what, before we get to it, let's take a
We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. We are ending on a crazy note. So this broke earlier today. I know that we had it on Good Day Chicago, but I want your reaction to this, Tia Ewing. So we know the Louvre heist, right? That happened. $102 million in jewels from the Louvre was stolen last month. Guess what the password was to the world famous museum's video surveillance system?
Whoever did it should be fired. Let's just say that. And it was the Louvre.
I know now. No, just simply Louvre.
Louvre. How dumb.
Just the name.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, so obviously they have had their security system come under, or security in general come under some scrutiny. And
I see your hand over there saying wrap it up. We're coming.
You know what? I'm just shocked. Oh, it is already that time. Wow.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I want you to sit on that.
I'm sorry,
rethink your passwords, people, because something's got to change over in Paris. I think.
You know what will never change? How amazing this show is.
Hey.
And we want you to tune in next week. We will see you next week. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And we'll see you come Monday.
Have a good weekend.
Live from Chicago,